Hello. Welcome to our biohazard and the no symbol presentation. My name is Liam.
And my name is Chris. So for the history of the symbol, starting off with the biohazard sign, it was created in 1966, and it was used to help communicate dangers of biological materials like viruses and bacteria. And in 1986, it was adopted by the International Organization for Standardization. Now, they wanted to symbolize biohazards, which tend to be invisible to the human eye. So essentially, what they wanted to do was create a symbol that was both simple and universally understandable, meaning they wanted to make a symbol when people look at it, they knew that it had something to do with either bacteria or viruses.
As for the no symbol, it was created around the 1930s, around the same time that the British government was hashing out the Geneva Convention. They wanted to standardize the roads, as with the influx of a bunch of different cars and mechanized vehicles. They wanted to create standardized road signs across Europe so that people driving long distances wouldn't be confused by the different countries' symbols. It is called the General Prohibition Sign, and with other symbols, it's partnered to show what is prohibited in whatever certain area, i.e., smoking, driving, walking, cycling, whatever it may be.
And how they are similar and how these symbols are similar is that they're both used to warn people or propel people from doing a specific thing, and they are both post and they're used as posted sign and they're used as posted signs. As far as the history of the designer, again, starting with the biohazard symbol, it was created by Charles Baldwin and Robert S. Runkle. Now, Charles Baldwin was a member he was an environmental health engineer at the DCC or the Dow Chemical Company, and Robert was a member of the NIH or the National Institute of Health. Now, Baldwin's team, he wanted to make something memorable but meaningless. Meaning again, they wanted to make something that would be universally understandable but simple at the same time.
As for the no symbols, as I've already stated, it was created by the British government at around 1931-ish era, and the government wanted to standardize road signs. Both of them were both created by a government body.
Now, for the CPP for the biohazard symbol, for concept, this symbol was not clear at first, but then it becomes clear throughout your life as something you avoid or materials with this specific symbol. Meaning, at first, when you look at this symbol, you may not know what it means, but as your life goes by, you will know what you'll essentially know what it means. And for the process, it's usually a fluorescent orange color on a yellow triangle. Um, it has been used throughout the years as other colors, but it's mainly orange on a yellow triangle. And also the circle in the middle, it had even without the circle in the middle, this symbol with just the three rings, it becomes a symbol for biohazardous material. This symbol is essentially a three-sided trefoil, which is a graphic form composed of the outline of the three overlapping rings, and the four circles represent a chain reaction.
As for the concept, process, and presentation for the no symbol, the concept is pretty clear at first. It is red, it is bright, it screams no to our regular human eyes, but it is reinforced through our life with experiences, um, such as the process. The process is accompanied by other symbols depicting whatever is prohibited in whatever certain area. I'm sure we've all seen no smoking symbols, no driving, no cycling, whatever it may be. It is usually a symbol surrounded by a circle with a cross through it. As for presentation, it is consistently a circle with a slash through the middle. However, the color can change country to country. Departing from its original purpose, many countries in Europe now use different standardized road signs, whereas some of them still use the original red slash, just like the United States do. Countries, for example, Germany uses a blue circle with a horizontal slash.
Now for progression, the Bible has its symbol. For the public, it has started off as a symbol that doctors would mostly knew about. Like, for example, this symbol would mostly be found in or you would mostly find this symbol in like medical offices or chemical plants. But it has really become a logo that essentially a lot of people would know to stay away from. And like I said, it has mostly been used in like stuff like medicine or anything in medical field or any chemicals. And as far as media, it has become a symbol for it has essentially become a symbol for horror. Like it has been used in a lot of horror movies and shows, specifically ones about like zombies and or viruses. And it has also become a symbol for bands that they would use to like symbolize what kind of music they play. Like whenever you would see the sign, it essentially mean they would play like rock music or rap or heavy metal. And it this symbol has also been used in a lot of social media. Like it has become an emoji. So of course like it has been used in like Instagram post, any social media post, and any like videos like YouTube videos. And also, it has been used as a symbol in the LGBTQ community as a sign for AIDS. Like they would use this symbol. They would use this symbol. Essentially, it would be green, and they would use it for like any like AIDS benefits.
For the progression of the no symbol, as far as the public, it stayed pretty much the same. It is a big circle telling you to not do something. It started only as road signs, but later it's been adapted to deter from other activities, such as smoking, cycling. Um, Usually, it stays pretty much the same size, enough to fit on a sign, but it's changed the size and the shape of the circle. Whereas originally the slash in the middle was much thinner. The outside circle used to be much bigger. Now they are uniform size. As far as the media, it is pretty much consistent. It's used for the same way. And then in movies, maybe you might see it used in the exact same way, just however adapted to whatever science fiction or whatever scenario that they're trying to use it in for the movie. Um, as far as media nowadays, we can see the different countries and the different nationalities usage of this through the emojis in our app store. For instance, the first one, the horizontal white slash, that is used mainly as like a train directional sign, followed closely behind by the Chinese symbol for the same circle and slash, and then right next to it is our circle and slash. As for our critique, I personally love the biohazard symbol. I think it really fits for its original intention. It's adapted well over the years. It's a pretty iconic symbol that everybody can kind of recognize. Even as far as its adaptations, I used to work in horror trails around October time. And I used to see the symbol a lot around the kind of zombie areas or the infection areas of whatever trail I was working at. And the more you see one symbol, the more you realize you either hate it or like it. Now, after years and years of working around it, I still enjoy it just the same amount as I saw it the first time.
As another horror buff myself, I also like this logo. I also like this logo. I like the design of it and how essentially how like the three rings and essentially the circle in the middle, it essentially means a chain reaction. And also when I look at the symbol, like because when you look at the symbol, like it kind of it like it put it's usually has to deal with like pandemics or like apocalypses and stuff like that. And kind of takes me back to our times of when we were down when the whole world was essentially shut down for COVID. So looking at this symbol, it definitely brings me back to like those times of like of quarantine and staying indoors. And also I like Liam, I've also worked in like the Halloween trails, so I've become very familiar with this symbol myself. And yeah, and the symbol the like I said, the design of it is like very phenomenal.
For our critique of the no symbol, um, I think it's a very solid symbol. I think over the years it's lost a little bit of its touch. Originally, it was intended to be a standardized road sign used across whatever countries in Europe or across the world. And while it was that way for a little bit, as inevitably as it may be, people have come up with their new signs and their own ways of interpreting this message. So its original intention to be a standardized road sign has kind of faded away with history. It's a solid symbol. It's very recognizable. So those countries that may have different ones, if they do come to our country and then vice versa, if we go to theirs, usually those symbols are pretty recognizable.
I agree that this symbol is very recognizable, even if you don't know what it, even if you haven't seen it any throughout your life. If you see this symbol, you'll have an idea of like what it essentially means. Like this is something you should not do. And like Liam said, even though it might be different throughout all the countries, essentially this like red with this like essentially this red circle with a slash, it's pretty well known throughout other countries, even though it might not be the same design. It's essentially still well known. And also it has become essentially a huge social media icon, as a lot of people like to use this symbol to emphasize like this is something that should not happen, or no, this is not something we should do. And yeah, and personally, I like the red, essentially the red slash and the red circle. It just makes it awesome.
Alrighty, and that was our presentation on the no symbol and the biohazard symbol. Here's our works cited. Thank you.
Thank you.